Maybe we don't unleash the power of fasting because we're unaware of its surprising benefits. Rob, what has been some of your discoveries of the benefits of fasting as you've engaged with this?
Well, one time I was fasting, I think it was a 3-day fast. And so often we talk about fasting, we're like, yeah, I'm up for fasting. And then after a while, you're like, why am I really doing this? Like, and you kind of bend the rules a little bit about what you're really fasting and stuff like that. And I was just like, God, why am I really doing this? And I really felt God speak to me this powerfully. He said, what fasting does in your body is a mirror for what it's doing in your spirit.
Wow.
So I was like, oh, okay. So I looked it up a little bit and I discovered that nutritionists and medical science are finding out that there are incredible benefits of fasting.
Wow.
Now this is amazing for a second. What God and the Bible has been teaching for literally thousands of years, medical science is catching up and discovering the incredible benefits.
Yeah.
But what's amazing is God often uses the natural things that we understand and experience and can see to mirror the spiritual things that we can't see. And seeing it here helps me to believe and trust God for the benefits here. And so in my research, I found some really interesting ways that fasting benefits your physical body. And the first one is that when you fast, your body is able to cleanse the blood. Your liver isn't focusing on dealing with all the toxins and everything and all the food and all the processes. It can focus on cleaning your blood, making it pure. Now this is significant because Leviticus in 17, it says, don't eat the blood. Why? Because the blood is the life. Fasting cleanses your life source.
You know, when you say that, I think about times I fasted, and I find that fasting is almost also like a refining that takes place, because it's like I guess I've never really been or seen gold refined, but from what I understand, a lot of this impurities, so to speak, come to the surface, right? And many times when I fast, I find that a lot of things just is like it almost like a cleansing, like a detox. Things that are there hidden, all of a sudden start to come to surface. I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that was there, and and you start to see all these things, and it actually makes me realize how much I need God to just deal with me, and things God needs to cleanse and remove. But fasting, just like talking about the blood mirroring, it's like it purifies you on the inside.
And our blood is our life source. The Bible actually said, in him was life, and that life was the light of man. So the purer, the more connected I am to my life source, God, the better a light I am, the better evangelism I am in my lifestyle. But what's really clear here, what's important here, is that your your fat travels through your blood. And I actually saw a thing once where they took a blood sample and they span it round and all the fat came to the top, and this guy in this little capsule had a layer of fat. Now why that's important is because when you've got fatty blood, you've got a lot of fat in your blood, it clogs up your veins and your arteries.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's what causes a heart attack. So when we understand the mirror spiritually is that fasting is cleansing it, it means that spiritually you can have a heart attack. Unless you're going through processes of cleansing yourself, of detoxing yourself, of just letting God refine that life source. And so often, when you are fasting, and maybe you're just starting out fasting, it feels horrible to your body.
To the body.
But when you get used to it, it's like running. The first time you ever run, you're like, why would anyone ever do this to your body? Or go to the why would I ever do this to my body? But when you get into the habit of it, you just feel more energetic, you feel more full of life. It's the same spiritually. When you're regularly fasting, you just feel God's life emanating out of you more. So the second thing, which is really interesting, is that fasting, we know this, burns off the fat. And this really reminds me of Hebrews chapter 12, where it says, lay aside every sin and weight. We could almost say, we translate that verse as burn the fat off your soul. Fat symbolizes weights, things I'm carrying that are slowing me down, that I don't need to. The Apostle Paul said this, he said, all things are permissible, but not all things are beneficial. Fasting helps me to cut off the things that are permissible, but they're not beneficial. They're not causing me to be a lean, mean, spiritual fighting machine.
Lean, mean.
But fasting burns off the fat. It burns the fat off our souls. So the third thing that fasting does, it actually detoxes your body. If you like caffeine, fasting breaks your dependence from the toxins that are in caffeine. And what we find throughout the scripture and through our spiritual lives is that abstinence breaks dependencies.
That's right.
Whether it's a dependency on entertainment, whether it's a dependency on actual food, whether it's a dependency upon relationships, whatever those dependencies are, abstinence, fasting helps to detox, break the power of those substances which we can easily begin to depend upon.
It's like starving it to death.
Exactly. What you feed grows,
what you
starve
dies. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so then the fourth thing, which I think is really powerful, is that surprisingly, when you fast, it actually increases your human growth hormones. So your human growth hormones, there's two big things they do. First of all, they build muscle. And secondly, they act as an anti-aging device. Now, this is really counterintuitive. And that's why we fast in faith. Not trusting our logic, what we think will happen, but trusting in the word and trusting the power of God. Because bodybuilders now are catching up to this. And a lot of bodybuilders and people that want to grow muscles, they actually fast. Instead of eat loads of food, they actually fast. Why? Because science has showed us it increases the human growth hormones. In fact, they did a study on one person that was fasting for a long period of time. Do you know how much his human growth hormones increased in his body?
How much?
1,250%.
Wow. Now, how long was that person fasting for?
They were doing a 40-day fast. Someone else doing I think it was a 3 to 5 day fast.
40-day water fast or 40, do you have
They were doing a 40-day fast, but I think this was taken at the 30-day mark. But another one, they were doing 3 to 5 days, and it was a 300% increase in the human growth hormone.
Wow.
And so what that does, spiritually, that's mirroring fasting strengthens you. It builds up your strength, it builds up your spiritual muscles. But you know what else it does? Is it keeps our faith more childlike.
Wow. Now we're talking about the surprising benefits of fasting. And I really do hope as you've listened to us, you've been inspired to actually take some time to fast and pray and seek God. Thanks for being with us. Have you been surprised by some of the benefits of fasting? I want to encourage you to comment below. Join the Preston movement by sharing this video with your friends and subscribe to our YouTube channel.